it unlocks something. Like one key is to the back of your head. When you hold this key, you unlock the back of your head and you can see what's inside it. You can look inside what your mind is like. You can see what you have, like all the other people can see what's in your head. You can even take things out of your head, or you can put things in there, and those are plot keys and whatnot. Plot keys.
Boom.
You're punny.
That are used to further the story, and it gets very lighthearted at points, but it gets very dark and definitely terrifying at some points. I haven't been truly, given chills from a book since I've read this book, and this one really knocks it out of the park for me. This is the most recent one, Crown of Shadows, and it has just been getting better and better. I thought, what could they do after the first volume? And then I just saw this amazing second volume, and then I saw the third one, and right now they're in production for
the Fox TV series.
The TV series, and they're working on the fourth volume, which has been nothing but amazing. I think that the art as well really sticks to it. I mean, some of the way the pages are laid out as well. One page, you'll see the character and you see his background, there's nothing there, and all of a sudden you see this very creepy, very scary kind of figure in the back, and it's just mesmerizing at times. I think it's very well written, very gripping, and it's indie. It's not one of the mainstream books. It doesn't have anything that's superhero, that flashy style to it.
And there's not one character that you would hate. You like all the characters pretty much. Even like the villain pretty much.
You get a history with some of them. It doesn't just leave them as a two-dimensional kind of character.
And it makes you question everything that these characters do too, because there are things that these characters do that are just, sometimes are just, you would not want to condone it, but I mean, overall.
You see the characters put in positions that you're like, what would I do if I was in such a situation? I highly recommend this.
Alright, I'm going to try and be straight-laced for a moment. My pick was Husk. Gee, I keep talking about this all the freaking time. No, but, in a nutshell, it's... What?
I like how you look away, and other people with the detriting look, as if it's their fault that you're the one who keeps reading, saying, "Buy more books and you'd have more stuff to talk about."
No, I was like this, stare down at you guys, why do you keep talking about one thing, Briston? Oh well, maybe because I can only buy certain things at a time. But anyways, Husk in a nutshell is a police story about a group of officers that utilize husks, which are giant mobile suits or something like that.
I like Gundam.
I know. I do too. But they use these suits and they're trying to track down a super hacker. And that's just this is, by the way, only 2 issues and it's combined into one trade. The first issue dealt with the super hacker, which leads off to a corporate scandal. And that's what the second issue and the remainder of the story ends off with.
Hey!
Oh, hey.
What's going on, buddy?
Welcome back to Comic Book Core, and we're here back with our best of 2010 episode. We'll go straight into favorite comic book film and TV adaptations. Kristen, start things off.
Oh yeah, I like to start things off. Scott Pilgrim! I love this movie. I don't know why. No, I actually know why. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Great movie. It's a shame that it never really got any, got any real notice or anything like that. Do I really need to describe the story to people? Because I'm pretty sure everybody has seen this movie, but...
Well, you just said it didn't get the...
You just said that it didn't get enough press that it should have, and then you said, but
everyone should know it.
I'm saying within our audience, because our audience watches
but
this.
Our audience are people who are getting into comics or are just starting to. So please.
Alright. Scott date knives, Scott dump knives to go with Remoto.
He didn't date actual knives. Okay.
Yes, he did.
He didn't date a pair of knives.
Okay, Scott Pilgrim's about a story about a guy that falls in love with the girl and he's trying to stay with the girl, but to stay with her, he has to defeat her 7 evil exes.
Hey, think Mario.
And the cool thing about the book is that, the book, first off, kind of includes stuff influences from video games and comic books. And obviously, when they translated it into a movie, they kept a lot of that same thing and added even more.
Yeah, and Edgar Wright directed. The cast, I thought, was really great. Was originally skeptical about Michael Cera, but better than many of his other roles, if you ask me.
I'll say I've seen it and I'm still skeptical of Michael Cera.
Yeah. I mean, as a movie as a whole, it's great. Michael Cera, not the right choice for the role because he is typecast as a specific character a lot. Scott Pilgrim is not the character he was meant to play, though.
Yeah.
Right.
But either way, though, the movie was great. I found it was the most unique movie, too, out of this entire year. The pacing and the editing is phenomenal, in my opinion. I've never seen anything of its caliber. It reminds me of Speed Racer back in 2008. So
I love that movie.
it was a great movie. It was fast-paced.
Popcorn flick.
It was great, though.
An acid trip is what it was.
But I shot every night.
I've shown it to people who like not even big comic book fans like that,
Yeah.
but they still enjoy just the movie as a film
Yeah.
for its visual presentation. There's like you said, the editing, stuff like that. It's a great movie, and it's as far as the overall story, to the most part, it does bring it over. But again, it's Edgar Wright was a perfect choice for that.
Yeah.
In that he felt that he felt that he needed to give it that kind of. You lose some of the fight stuff with all the video game references in there. I mean, they're still in the movie, but because it is 6 volumes condensed into one movie, you lose that. But you give it the fast-paced nature of a video game with the way he cut it. So you have that. You still have that.
Let me ask you something. When you showed it to people that haven't read the book or whatnot, were they older audiences, your age, younger? How old were they?
Usually about the same age.
Yeah,
you know.
that's what I took when I went to go see
It's
it.
the same.
I recommended it to my younger sibling. The reason I ask is that I recommended my younger sibling and some of his younger friends, and they were mid-high school, and his cousin is a little bit younger, and they didn't really enjoy it as much as we did.
Well, they're immature and they don't understand everything, and they're
True.
poo-poo heads.
Poo-poo heads. Front headlines. I'm
be
just
said.
saying that I get that it catches to us more because we get all the parodies, the old school, the NES, the NES, the Super NES and whatnot, and the Capcom and Sega and whatnot.
Yeah, if you say to them 8-bit, they don't know what 8-bit is.
Yeah, they didn't have the generation. It's more for the, I think, young adult and maybe older.
Gigabytes.
From the trailer, if someone who hasn't read the comic, it's hard to see what the movie's actually about. You just see crazy stuff, which alone for me, I was sold, but for many audiences who want plot, they didn't catch the plot.
It reminds me of our producer Eric, who's never read it, and we dragged him to go see Scott Pilgrim, and he had the exact same thing, which was he had no idea what was really going on in the story. He still followed up on it, but he was still confused about it. He never read it still because he doesn't like to read, but that's all right.
And he's a big boy now.
Reading her brain.
I think one thing I really enjoyed about this that helped many people kind of relate to it is that it wasn't just about this guy going after the girl. It was just about all aspects of relationships and how you can come from a relationship, you can be in a relationship, and it might not be the one that you thought clicked, and you find this other girl or person, and you have to go through many trials and tribulations to be with that person, whether it's against other people or whether it's doubts within yourself or with each other. And in the end, it's what and coming out of relationships, how all that is dealt with. I think this book really does a great job of talking about that and giving an exciting story to have about that.
And I think too, like and one of my favorite moments for the series was the ending. Scott, and they showed the movie too, where he kind of gets the power of not to spoil anything for anybody, but he gains an extra life. If you've seen the movie, you kind of understand what happens, and he comes to a better understanding of who he is. And the book in my opinion, does a much better job of that, of him kind of coming to. It's a coming of age story where he finally sees
grows up,
and he realizes what he has to do to actually finally get this girl. And it's not just if he is the 7 Elixes. There's other story parts where he has to define who he is himself.
Yeah,
and that's what I think. Brian Lee O'Malley did a great job. He's a lot of people have read his earlier work, Lost at Sea, which is a much more subdued story, very mellow, very kind of Catcher in the Rye-ish.
Yeah.
Whereas this is just bam, boom, zam. Like you don't. It still has that even with the bang, boom, zam.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important thing.
The zam was key to the story.
very tasteful, if you ask me.
And lastly, just another thing too was the characters too. All those entire support cast was just amazing, and not just book wise too, but also in the film too. I loved Kevin Culkin. I think that's his name. He played
Kieran
Wall.
Culkin.
Kieran Culkin. There we go.
Yeah.
Wallace Wells, great job. It was
Steven
almost
Stills.
Steven Stills is good. I
He was
seriously,
actually good,
Wallace steals the show every time he's there.
Oh,
He
yeah.
steals every scene in the book for
Yeah.
me. I think he'll pop in a little anecdote here and there, a little one-liner, and you're just like, I'm laughing out loud. But the thing is, too, for the writing, is you don't stop and be like, oh, that's so great. It doesn't take you out of the momentum of the story. You just read it, you laugh, and you keep going with it.
Yeah.
especially in the film, it didn't lose. I didn't feel like it lost any of that with Wallace and his quick wit and
that's
everything.
if anything, like people feel disillusioned with any of the characters translating from the book to the movie. Wallace was the one that translated perfectly.
Yeah.
All in all, I agree. Did a great job of translating from book to film. If not, it was they were complements to one another. You got your book, which had that really delved out story, and your film, which was a little fast paced.
Don't forget the game. No.
My pick was.
He didn't do what I was gonna.
I ended up picking Kick-Ass, the comic book film adaptation starring Nick Cage and. Just that's all you need to know. Nick Cage.
Aaron Johnson. Chloe, and I can't remember her last name. I'm sorry. No.
Mark Strong and various other people. I thought this is a great film adaptation by a Mark Millar book and John Romita Jr. as well. He collaborated.
The cameo.
John Romita's art making the cameo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In there by the art
sketches that are in Nick Cage's characters.
His name too was also in it as well. If I remember right.
Yeah, it was a small cameo, but all in all, I thought the film. For me, the comic was good, but any of the faults that it had, I thought the film made up for that and made it better.
It needed more jetpack. That's just how it is.
It needed more Nick Cage is what it needed. That's what it needed. That was all it needed.
See, as you remember in the past, I'm a Mark Millar whore, so I do love this book.
You're a crack addict, you're a whore.
Kids, listen to me! The movie, I actually did like the movie, except for the jetpack. I'm sorry. Jetpack pushed it to the limit. Like, I was enjoying it, and it gets to the jetpack. I'm sorry. No.
Yet he loves Rocketeer. So it's not jetpacks necessarily.
Whoa.
It's him using.
Yes.
It's not character appropriate.
You're messing with the story, though. I thought the one thing I liked about the book, too, was that it addresses the whole idea of why people aren't superheroes in real life.
Yeah.
Wait. It addresses the story that white people aren't superheroes in real life?
There's a trend with all our episodes now.
But I felt like the movie deviates from that point, but it wasn't a bad deviation in a way,
I think that was just like it kept that tone from the book, but that the jetpack was just like an over the top type of thing, and just like they're people trying to be superhero. The jetpack was I am a superhero now. I can fly.
Yeah.
It's like no, that's
I thought a character that really got
I'm
a chance
Orion.
in the movie to shine was Mark Strong's character. In the book, he was just like the
Yeah.
mob guy. In this, he had a chance to really be a great mob guy,
I love that.
as well as having little quirks that just I laughed out loud.
Yeah.
Where they're getting ready to go to the movie,
I want to get some
or
Twizzlers.
he's talking about screw Tony, changing the wording there.
I don't understand. What did he say?
He said screw
I don't
Tony.
remember that. What did he actually say?
I don't know.
Don't worry, we can bleep it out in post.
Please don't.
Can we?
We can do it, but I don't want to. I'm lazy.
I didn't like though. What's his name? McLovin in the movie. He really.
He fell out of place, kind of.
Not that McLovin was the
I was
actor.
scared of him.
At the end,
Violent.
he didn't come off as any kind of like at the very end he tries to come off as very serious and kind of like lead into the next movie, book, whatever. And I didn't catch any of that threat that he.
The only
carried.
thing I see as an opposite to this, because in the book he's more like a big macho kind of guy. They made him more not sinister, but like more manipulative in a sense. Like
No, he was manipulated. That's what happened to him.
well, no, but I'm saying McLovin's character.
Yeah, he was manipulated.
We can say his name is Red Mist.
Yeah, Red Mist.
Red Mist.
Say
Spoiler.
his real name.